What's up, everybody? Frankie5152 here. Today we're going to do a short little episode on last week 2 recap and week 3 stardom and sit-ems and get preparation for tonight's Los Angeles Rams and San Francisco 49ers. I heard tickets are going really cheap, $14 for a ticket there. So if you're in the San Francisco area, get yourself a ticket, get a cheap NFL game in. Why not, right? Anyway, so let's go over last week. Last week, as you can see, 10 points, loss. Hard to complain about a loss when you get 136 points still. So I was the third most points this week. 2 people scored above me, so I'm not too complaining. And 2 weeks in a row where I've beat my projected points, and I plan on doing it again this week, and we'll go over that. I did leave some points on the bench. I thought I should have started Ben Roethlisberger over Matt Ryan, and I would have been correct in doing so. And that right there would have been almost 5 full points itself, which would have gotten me halfway there. And then I switched Marvin Jones and Michael Thomas up. A 2-point difference there. Wouldn't have made too much of a difference, but would have made me 7 points closer. And then, as you can see, Davante Adams scored 19.9 points. And that would have been enough over the wide receiver of Marvin Jones, but same time, Jordy Nelson and Randall Cobb were healthy going into the game, so leaving them on a bench was not. I was still projected to get 11 points, so I'm not going to beat myself up over that one. Now, going into my start and sits for this week, Davante Adams. Let's see what he's got going on here. He is healthy and could serve as the team's top receiver with Jordy Nelson. That's been updated a little bit because pretty sure Jordy Nelson is going to play. He was in practice Wednesday. We'll find out no more on the update today. So let's see. We had Good Swallow beat Latrine Shithouse. Thunder and Blumpkins beat Crazy Eyes. Bad Hombre beat Pterodactyl Queef, and Your Girlfriend stomped Kicking Praters in the biggest blowout of the week. That's back-to-back for Kicking Praters there. Rough start for him. Now let's get into week 3. I've got some tough matchups in week 3 for my offense versus defense, and my defense actually versus offense. See, this week I got Ben Roethlisberger versus Chicago. That's a pretty easy start over Matt Ryan over Detroit. For me, I like the Detroit secondary. They're young and aggressive. They're looking to kind of take a hold of and make some interceptions, and I think they will, to give them a shot. It's in Detroit, but I really think Ben Roethlisberger is going to be able to tear apart that Chicago defense, and that could lead to some extra touchdowns. So that's why I kind of started him this week, going with my gut feeling. I went against it last week, and I paid for it a little bit, so I think this week we get it. Keenan Allen could have trouble with Kansas City, but he is still the main target there, so I'm going to stick with that. Michael Thomas versus Carolina. Carolina's defense has looked good so far and has done me well so far, but for some reason that Carolina-New Orleans games, you just never, when you think it's going to go one way, it ends up going the opposite. So I'm just going to stick with him. Like I said, with Davante Adams, it looks like Jordy Nelson is going to play, but Randall Cobb may be out, so he will be probably a second. This, of course, hasn't been updated since the 18th. So a little slow there. So I'm going to stick with him. Also going to be running Ty Montgomery. Cincinnati's defense has not looked that great. Their offense has also not looked good, so he's probably going to be strong. Mike Gilsey, sticking with him at a running back. He's been awesome so far. I don't expect him to keep up his production like he has all throughout the year. With them shuffling in two other running backs in that position, but he still seems to be the short yardage guy and the goal line guy. So, and getting those touchdowns is awesome. Travis Kelce, of course, easy pick against the Chargers. Keeping Lutz at kicker. I didn't feel like going to pick up a new kicker against Carolina, so I'm okay. But I did go pick up a new defense. I dropped Brashard Perriman, and picked up Philadelphia's defense. They're going against the Giants. I hope their offense still is not clicking, although Odell Beckham will be 1 week healthier. So who knows if that could end up being a mistake. But like I said, against Carolina's defense, against that New Orleans offense, you never know how they're going to perform. And he could put up 45 points, or they could put up 14 in New Orleans. You just, week to week, it's hard to tell. My bench is pretty self-explanatory. I think I've got better options. T.Y. Hilton, without Andrew Luck, still putting him on the bench, even against that Cleveland defense. Willie Snead apparently got suspended, so that only helps Michael Thomas. Eric Decker is looking to get better on track here in Tennessee. There's not much really I would probably change on my opponent's side of the field. So let's go take a look at some more matchups here. Latrine Shithouse versus Pterodactyl Queef. Oh, that's perfect for these two to be facing each other, right? So here we have Randall Cobb, who I said is questionable and did not practice Wednesday. Yeah, see, he did not clear to be practice. So, and looks like both of them, they're hoping to have both of them, but he might not make it. And I'm hoping he doesn't because I'm starting Devontae Adams, but I will be watching that one closely. So we have Cam Newton at New Orleans. You just never know how that goes. Russell Wilson. I think Pterodactyl Queef needs to find a new quarterback. Does he have one on his bench? He does. He has Alex Smith against the Chargers. I mean, I might start him over Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson just, and that offensive line is terrible, so who knows. Julio Jones could have a big game against Detroit and those young cornerbacks, or if they get over aggressive. AJ Green is shuffling from that. I thought last week was going to be their week to get together on that Thursday night game. It was not, so who knows how he'll end up doing. I do like the Pittsburgh pickup over Chicago. He just picked them up. That's why I didn't pick them up, because I was definitely eyeballing them, but he got to them before I did. Yeah, Rawls sit, Ingram sit. Jay Stewart, you just never know how he's going to do. Ken Jr., he's a hit and miss kind of guy, big play guy. Watson against against Jacksonville could have a good game. Yeah. I guess I'm going to go with Latrine Shithouse on this one. Especially if Randall Cobb doesn't play. And Howard against that Pittsburgh defense. And then McCoy against Denver's defense. Not looking too good. I do like Jason Witten in Arizona, though. Julio Jones might get them more points playing against Detroit, but it all depends on that young Detroit defense. Hey, there we go. Did not load that time. Sorry about that. My signal is not the best today. Well, if it doesn't want to load, we may just end it here. Handle my starts and sits for my team, and of course that one. You got any questions, leave them in the comment. I'll get back to you before tonight's game, hopefully. And we'll see you around. Oh, there we go. It opened up, finally. All right, so never mind. So, Crazy Eyes, Good Swallow. Let's see what we got here. Kirk Cousins versus Oakland. Derek Carr. Oh, we got a matchup of the quarterbacks. How fun is that? Like I said, Jordy Nelson looks like he's going to start. Golden Tate versus Atlanta could be an interesting game for them on whoever. Odell Beckham does not look himself so far, but hopefully he looks better this week. Andrew Luck being out is hurting me with T.Y. Hilton, who I drafted first overall. Javon Curse versus Miami. I actually like that matchup. I think the Jets are going to be getting rid of the ball quickly, and I think Curse over the middle and quick slant passes will probably pick up a lot of PPR points. Would I start him on over any of them? Maybe not. Because Jordy Nelson looks like he's going to play. Amari Cooper looks like he's going to play. Jeremy Maclin has looked strong so far this year, so maybe not any over them, but definitely a strong pickup. In that terrible New York Jets offense, he is definitely the bright spot of it. Devin Funch is also a big pickup, and a lot of people are picking him up to hopefully go off in Carolina over New Orleans. Once again, I don't like Hopkins in New England. I would probably sit Hopkins and start Funches over him, just as a gut feeling. That's just my opinion, of course. But I think Derek Carr plays and Jordan Nelson does well in Cincinnati. JJ goes off in New York, so that's probably 20 points for him at least right there. And then Bennett, probably strong against that Cincinnati defense. So I'm going to go with good swallow there. Your girlfriend's keeper and in Wentz we trust. Now this is a good matchup here because these are the two highest scoring from week 2. I'm sure both of them are looking forward to. Yeah. Both of them are looking forward to keeping that up this week. Of course, I want to keep my scoring up as well. I know we know when Wentz Trust has Rob Gronkowski. So if he's healthy and plays, definitely helpful. But if he doesn't play, gonna hurt. Here it is. Like I said, he's questionable. Drew Brees, you just don't know if he's gonna get those 24 points, score 40 points, or score 5. I like Aaron Rodgers in Cincinnati. Mike Evans versus Minnesota. That Minnesota defense has not looked itself so far this year. Martavis Bryant probably going to light up the scoreboard a couple times in Chicago. Emmanuel Sanders is either hit and miss. Trevor Siemian. I like that Buffalo front four to get after him a little bit, so he may not perform as well this week. Landry, if he plays against the Jets, will have a lot going on. J.J. Nelson, a lot of people are picking him as a good pickup for this week against Dallas in that Monday night game. Looking forward to watching that one. Todd Gurley is going tonight against San Francisco. Hopefully he runs all over the place and destroys San Francisco. I don't know why he's starting LeGarrette Blount again. I mean, I might start Frank Gore going against Cleveland over LeGarrette Blount. He did not look good last week. I think he only had like 0.1 points. Something I would definitely do. Indianapolis doesn't have a lot going on, but Frank Gore is still Frank Gore. He's an older Frank Gore. Still something I would look to do. I don't know if I like New York's defense or Arizona's defense this week. But there's not a whole lot of better options out there as I was looking on the waiver wire myself. Gordon, of course, probably going to perform well in Kansas City. But I like Hunt to perform better against the Chargers. Kyle Rudolph against Tampa Bay. I didn't watch much of the Tampa Bay game, and of course they didn't have a week 1, so hard to really judge them on their defense. But I'm going to have to give this game to your girlfriend's keeper so far. All right, Kicking Prater and Thundering Blumpkin. Kicking Praters has had the unfortunate event of going up against the two of the higher scoring teams so far this year. And pulls a rough one against Tom Brady going against that Houston defense where the front four is great, but they've struggled outside of that. Antonio Brown could have a phenomenal game against Chicago. Ryan Matthews versus Seattle, against Seattle's defense, Legion. Well, it's not the Legion of Boom anymore. They are not as good. Sammy Watkins could probably score a couple points against that San Francisco defense. DeMarco Murray has kind of struggled so far, and Henry has pulled up a little bit. Where's he at? Derrick Henry right here has pulled up and kind of taken ahead. So if he's not 100% healthy, could hurt him a little bit as Henry gets more carries. Marshawn Lynch has been a beast so far. Washington's defense will really test Oakland, though. Not a fan of Seattle's defense so far this year. Like I said, I didn't watch enough of the Tampa Bay game to really see, but Jameis Winston and Mike Evans always seem to be on the same page so far. So it's hard to go against them. Michael Crabtree, tough Oakland, Washington defense. Doug Baldwin, I am not a fan of. I just don't like that Russell Wilson offense this year. They've looked sloppy and slow so far. So we'll see. Cooks in New England against Houston. Good matchup, so that should take away some of the points that Tom Brady gets, but we'll see there. Bell probably will have his breakout game this week against Chicago. Started slow. I think this week he really picks it up and gets his 100-yard rushing and hopefully finds the end zone. I actually like Delaney Walker over Ertz. Those corners are really good at covering those wide receivers, which I think will leave Delaney Walker against a linebacker a lot. So he may be a main target there if he's healthy. I don't think Simeon's going to get his 20 points against Buffalo, but we will see. I actually like Kupp against San Francisco, the 49ers tonight, but I also like his wide receivers he's starting already, so I probably wouldn't change. Well, I might start him over Baldwin. I don't like I said, do not like that Seattle's offense. Maybe even Jackson. I mean, I don't think I'd start Henry over Christian McCaffrey because that New Orleans defense doesn't stop a lot, but they do score enough points. So I think Thundering Blumpkins catches his first break and actually gets the win this week. But they will, of course, be close games. Wish everybody the best of luck, and I will check in with you guys Monday morning.